What's up, everyone? Today we're doing leg day today. I missed the video yesterday. I still went and lifted. It was back and biceps, which I know is a lot of people's favorite muscle group to watch people train for some reason. I mean, I like watching like chest workouts and stuff, but that's besides the point. I just went to the mall. I got a bite to eat, and I picked up something for my girl, right? You know, just little errands or whatever you want to call them. But I have my AirPods in when I'm in the mall or something, or when I'm in the store or whatever, just because, I mean, it just kind of like, I don't know, drains out the noise and stuff of like, you know, just like the mall or whatever, but whatever. It's also just fun to listen to music, right? But I got the feeling, I don't know if you guys ever had this, like with an artist or whatever, a certain band, listening to them for the first time is like the best thing ever. Right? It's new music. It's a different element of stuff. It's just a whole different source of stuff, right? Well, I was listening to the Deftones, and I've listened to Deftones for a while now, and I was listening to them, and I was listening to Sex Tape, really good song of theirs, and I felt like I was listening to them the first time again. I think I low-key started levitating. I don't know if you guys get that feeling, but, like, if you guys ever have heard Deftones, and if you can remember the first time you heard it, and you were just, like, in awe, that's how I was feeling. I was getting chills. I was like, oh, my gosh, this is amazing, dude. This is amazing. And then, you know, I was just vibing in the mall. I was low-key dancing and shit, you know. I think that's what you should be doing. I think that you should be lively, right? And music is one of those things that makes people feel lively. It makes people want to dance. It makes people want to move. And that's what all of us need to do more. It's just move, right? Because, I mean, talk about the obesity rates in America. That's bad. It's very bad. Like, on a real note, it's getting higher, and kids are having more obesity problems and stuff. And I'm going to be honest, when I have a kid, there is not a chance he becomes obese unless there's some chronic condition, you know, he somehow gets something horrible. I'm not letting it happen. He's gonna be in like 2 or 3 sports. She will be in 2 or 3 sports. I don't care, dog. I'm making my kids only eat organic foods. They don't need candy, right? What I've learned growing up is, yeah, candy's cool, but like, fruits are good, meat is hella good. And if you really want that taste, protein bar, buddy. No, but I'm not saying I'm never going to let my kid have candy. That's kind of a crazy statement. But I will teach them a balance just with all things in life. But especially when it comes to food, you need to learn how to be disciplined with that. Because if you get undisciplined with food, that messes up all of your life. For one, I mean, the most obvious is a physical aspect. If you eat a lot of sugars, let's say you go to the gym. I'm going to use it in that example. Your recovery time is going to be slower. You're going to get spikes of energy. And then that spike also has downsides where you're going up and then straight down. Right? And then on a mental aspect, it creates brain fog. So cognitive function, you're not going to be working as well up there. And I think, you know, everyone likes a good working brain, you know. My only time where my brain isn't working in its full function a lot of times is directly after my workouts, because I have to recover for a second, especially on like a leg day where I just damn near lost 5 blood vessels. I just popped them all, you know. But no. But that whole point of what I was saying with that was just have a balance of whatever you want. Candy isn't always bad. It's okay to have once in a while. Same with junk food. Same with, you know, because you don't want to have to be clean 100% of the time, right? I'd say 85-15. 85 clean, 15 dirty. It's okay to have a kind of a lifestyle balance, you know. And that's like the work-life balance, you know. You don't want to just be working your whole life to death, you know. That's one thing I've never understood. And that's said about, like, that my dad said to me and everyone else. They're always like, well, you're gonna be working 60 hours this week, that's not that much. Or, even personally for me, I think working 40 hours a week is a lot. And the reason why I say that is because that's cutting a third of your day, right? Working will be a third of your life then, if you want to think about it like that. Working will be a third of your life. And the thing how I want to operate and how I want to work, I'm fine with working my ass off, right? But when it comes to something like a job that I'm not going to get any indirect reward for long term other than a paycheck and, retirement maybe or whatever, if I would want to work 60 or 80 hours on an unpromised business of my own than a business that I don't get anything from other than a paycheck and maybe some promotions every year, right? And with what I'm doing right now with this YouTube, this is my business technically, right? I'm not making any money from it or anything, but I am the product myself, right? And the thing is, I have to keep at that, right? Because if I get inconsistent, if anything like that will happen, it'll appear, it'll show off. You guys won't have any videos to watch, so you guys will stop watching. Because if there's no new content, you guys aren't getting anything out of that. You guys are getting a dude who is inconsistent with his word and can't upload. And then you guys will stop watching. And that's fair. Because, personally, if some guy that I really liked or just some guy I watched or whatever stopped uploading on YouTube, I might go check back after like a year and be like, where's he been? And then see if he's posted and if I just haven't seen it or something. And if he hasn't posted, then like, what's the point? So, that's the whole thing with this. My whole main message right here is a balance, consistency, and honestly, treat yourself like a product. And that sounds weird, but it's mainly, like I said, with the YouTube thing. If I just let myself go on YouTube, or just not on YouTube, just in life or whatever, I got really fat. Just let myself go, right? You guys probably wouldn't want to watch me for gym content anymore, right? Because I don't do any gaming content. I don't have like commentary like that or anything. So you guys are seeing the physical aspect of me only, and somewhat of my mental aspect with me talking to you guys, right? So I think YouTube will also push me to do better as well, because you guys see me, right? I'm not just, like I said, some YouTuber who does gaming and I have a little commentary in the background with no face cam or anything. Like, you guys see me always in my videos. There's no part of my videos where you won't see me because I want to be the gym content. You'd see just a machine, and I don't think you guys just want to see a static machine. But we're gonna get into the gym, we're gonna do what we can, and we're gonna get it going, baby. First, we got one of my new kind of staples on my leg days for my quads. It's a pendulum squat. I used to do a leg press, but the thing is, no ego stuff. I put on way too many plates, and it was kind of tiring and frustrating to take the plates on and off the machine, because I was doing about 10 plates a side. So that's 20 plates you have to take on and off. So here, I'm only doing a plate per side, just really good form, really good reps, and just blasting my quads out. And just with this machine, just go deep as possible, because you can get a great deep motion on this machine right here. And then explode on the way up, and you'll burn your quads like no other. And try to have your feet lower on the platform. Now we have a leg extension machine also with those quads. Just, train intense with this, obviously. Get a deep stretch right here. Make sure the part where your back is on it, the seat part, is as far back as you can, or pretty far back at least, so you get a deeper stretch. And just go around the 6 to 10, maybe the 12 rep range for this. Now we got one of my other favorite movements and my first and only hamstring exercise for this. It's just a standing hamstring curl. Really good on the hamstrings. Kind of do lower weight. I'm only doing 75 pounds per leg, but do around 6 to 10 reps for this. Try to just go explode at the top, slow on the way down, and you'll really feel that hamstring burn. Next, we got my first and only superset as well. We got the sus machine and then to the abductor kind of glute machine. This one right here will help on the inner thigh, kind of give you that wider look to your legs. Because you can focus a lot on quads, but you'll get that like kind of like, I don't know how to explain it, that sweep and all that. But this machine will help you get that kind of wide look to your legs, so it makes your legs look a lot bigger. And then the other machine is just to make sure you get stronger glutes. Helps with a lot of back pain as well, but also for me, primarily with my goals, it just gives me shredded glutes. Now we got calf raises. I have to go lower weight on this because on my right foot, the back of it on the ankle part has like a sharp pain on the stretch. So I'm able to go deep on my stretch for my left foot, but not my right foot. So when you see me do the right leg, don't mind the stretching portion. I'm still getting that squeeze at the top, but I still want to train calves because I don't want to not do calves, because small calves look bad when you have bigger quads and hamstrings. Pretty good lift today, I gotta say. Oh, let me put you right there. So, what did we learn today? Train hard and train heavy. You guys should have already learned that from me. I'm gonna take you out of here, actually. You guys should have learned that from me if, you guys haven't already. Where did I put you? Put you, like, right there. Okay, that's good. So, yeah. One thing you can learn from me is that train hard, train heavy, train like you have a purpose and a goal in there, right? If you go into the gym without any goal or any type of purpose, right? For me, personally, just to give you guys an example, I want to be a bodybuilder, right? I don't want to get second place. I want to get first place. I want to beat the competition. I just want to blow them out of the water, right? So why would I want to half-ass a set? You know, sometimes, like at the end, what I did there, I did abs. You guys didn't see it on camera, but I wasn't half-assing it, but I probably could have done a little more. But it's core, and I'm bulking, so I don't see as much results with core as I do maybe like legs or arms or any other things, because my fat position, proportionally, it goes, I don't know. I don't think it really goes to my core first, but I know it is one of the more, like, first place it goes. I think my arms and, like, back get it kind of last, or, like, maybe, like, my chest. Arms and chest probably I get it last. But, like, my back and my legs and my core, like, the first place to get my fat. But then, you know, it goes everywhere else. But, yeah, I had a good lift in there today. Can't complain about anything. But I don't know. I'm kind of thinking what I want to say right now. Also, what's important is, it's not like the most important thing in the world, because you can get a good training session in anywhere. You have a home gym by yourself, you can get a good training session there even. But what I will say is, if you have a community of people who also look like, or just they train intense, they look like they have the same goals as you, right? If you have a bunch of bodybuilders, and you want to be and you're an inspiring bodybuilder, or you are a bodybuilder, you're more likely going to train hard if you have more bodybuilders in there. And if you go to a gym where everyone's on their phone constantly and people aren't really working that hard, then, you know, you might feed off of that a little bit. But not always, because me personally, I'll go to the Y or Planet Fitness, I'll still get an intense ass session. I'll grunt, I'll moan, everything. Moan, that's kind of crazy sounding, but, you know, I'll make my workout sounds, right? And I've gotten some stares sometimes. I'm not like, anything super crazy. But, you know, it's just kind of like you can get it done anywhere type of thing, you know? It doesn't matter if you have, you know, the worst equipment in the world, right? If you have a barbell and some dumbbells, sure, it's not going to be as good as maybe the guy with the most perfect machines or anything, but it's your mindset, right? If you go in there thinking, oh, I only have a barbell and some dumbbells, but you have dumbbells, weights, right? And you have weights for your barbell, you can get in there, do some overhead press, you can get in there, do some squatting, you can get in there and do some front raises, bicep, multiple things. I'm just kind of listing off things you could do, just a bit without even a bench, right? But there's so many things that you can do with the most minimal training. Like when I first started, honestly, some of my best pumps and workouts were at my home gym with just dumbbells and a barbell and an easy curl bar, right? Nothing else. And a bench. Nothing else, you know? And it's not because I was doing anything differently. It was just because I didn't think that there was any inconveniences without that stuff. You know, I don't need the perfect machines. It's very great and nice when you get a machine that feels, you know, better than like a barbell row feels decent, right? But if you can get a machine that's guided and really lets you squeeze, obviously you're gonna want to do the machine that feels better, makes you get more gains, right? But you can't complain if, you know, the only thing you have is a barbell, right? Like I've been to some hotel gyms and they're not the best in the world, but they're good enough to get stuff done. Like when I was in Myrtle Beach a couple years ago, I was with my buddy, but we were in a hotel gym. I had great workouts there. And honestly, I worked out pretty hard there, you know? I had, you know, like one of those combination machines where it's like 4 machines. It has the lat pull down over here, the chest kind of, it's like a chest press machine, whatever you want to call it. Can't think right now. And then it had like a leg extension mixed with like a leg press, and then like a preacher curl thing on one side. Had a bunch of those things, right? But I had dumbbells and I had a bench, right? I was able to get everything done I needed to there. So I didn't complain. I just did it. I worked out for an hour, maybe an hour and a half while I was on vacation. That's the thing too. When you're on vacation, don't get lazy. Like, you can take a break on some things, right? Take your time off of work, right? Take that time to enjoy spending it with others. But take at least 30 minutes out of your day. Go get a little workout. If you literally have nothing to your availability, and you know that you're not going to be close to a gym, you don't have a gym in your facility, whatever, bring some dumbbells, get some push-ups, some squats done, do some lateral raises, just get something done, right? A little bit is better than nothing. You could do a 15-minute push-up workout, and you can get an amazing workout. And I'm being dead serious about that too. I just don't understand the people who say they don't have time. I get it. You don't have time for a 2-hour workout. I don't even have time for that. You don't have time for an hour and a half workout. Okay. You don't have time for even an hour. Fine. But you have time for 15 minutes. You have time for 20 minutes. Or you have time to stop eating like shit. Seriously. You have time. That's why I said earlier, when I think working 40 hours is kind of crazy, because that's a third of your life, and then you have a third to sleep, and then you have a third to do whatever else you want. I think how it should go, unless you're pursuing your own business, right? I've seen in other countries, people work max 25 hours. I forget what country it is, but they're the happiest they are. Like, they are very happy people over there. And I'm not saying working is what makes people sad or depressed, because it gives you a purpose, right? Just like this stuff. I mean, it gives me purpose. It gives me something to look forward to and strive after. But a lot of people just work themselves to death, you know, and they don't have any time for anything else. Stuff that'll physically and mentally and spiritually make them feel better. And I'm not even saying that in the gym. Some people love to paint. Some people love to do yoga, right? Some people love to write books. Some people love to read books. You know, they don't spend the time on themselves that they should. And you need to be a little selfish with that when it comes with your life, right? You need a social life, a personal life, and a work life, right? Your social life you should spend some time on, right? Obviously, I think everyone should have a wife or a husband at the end of the day. I think you're going to be very much happier with that other person there as your pillar. Right? You're going to be able to have an emotional pillar. You're going to just be able to talk to somebody. You're going to be able to have connections with, bonds with, right? A work life will bring you in money. It will bring you some type of successfulness and achievement. You know, you'll be like, wow, I had a good work day. I can go back to my wife, you know, / whatever, and I can just relax now, right? But then your personal life, you need to focus on getting closer to God. I think personally, getting your goals done. For like me, my personal self, I want to get this gym stuff, right? I want to be able to be a bodybuilder. I just want to be bigger and stronger at the end of the day, right? More lean, more powerful. You just need personal goals, right? Short-term and long-term. Because if you have no goals at the end of the day, you're striving after nothing. And you're just a zombie at that point. You're a machine. And I mean, with AI taking over, AI is going to take over you instantly. AI has a purpose of whatever it gives, whatever the prompt is, you know, sometimes whatever not. And you're not given a prompt. You are given whatever you are given, and you can do anything you'd like. But if you are just a zombie and a conscienceless zombie that goes after nothing, doesn't really have any goals, doesn't really want much at the end of the day, there's not much life in you. You're as lifeful, or whatever you want to say, as an AI. And me personally, I want to be full of life, right? Or I just want to be full of purpose. I want to be someone people look after and just look at me like, wow, he's a person who's hardworking and doesn't give up on his goals. That's how I want to be viewed. I don't have to be viewed as a nice guy or a mean guy or, you know, scary or whatever. I just want to be someone who, like a David Goggins, right? I want to be a hardworking individual that people can look up at and strive after their own goals because I motivated them to do better. And I understand I don't really have a lot of proof of it. I'm not a bodybuilder yet. I train bodybuilding, right? But I don't have the accolades of having a trophy. I'm not super rich. I don't have the assets of money, right? But I'm striving for those goals, and that's what matters at the end of the day. If you at least strive after your goals, step by step, you're going to get there one day. If you have faith in God, God will lead you to that, right? God's not going to give you something that's going to take you down a bad path. Maybe you might think it is a bad path at first because it's not fully what you wanted, right? And that's the brutal reality of everything. Sometimes you don't get what you want. Sometimes you get what you need. So I have nothing much more to say other than being in an uncomfortable environment that you can get comfortable in eventually. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. God bless you all. Have a good night. Bye-bye.